Hello there, you awakening wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack and undermine the news in all its corruption, because in this story, I am the news. I've received two extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. But amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play? Particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of. And we saw a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out, Russell, they're coming for you, you're getting too close to the truth. Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago there was a spate of articles, Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist, Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me, like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices. And I mean my voice along with your voice. I don't mind them using my books and my stand-up to talk about my promiscuous, consensual conduct in the past. What I seriously refute are these very, very serious criminal allegations. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives that these two mainstream media outlets are trying to construct, apparently in what seems to me to be a coordinated attack. Now, I don't want to get into this any further because of the serious nature of the allegations, but I feel like I'm being attacked, and plainly they are working very closely together. We are obviously going to look into this matter because it's very, very serious. In the meantime, I want you to stay close, stay awake, but more important than any of that, if you can, please stay free.
Hey guys, no doubt by now you've heard about the accusations towards Russell Brand in regards to 4 women alleging that he either raped, sexually assaulted, or abused them. Now, you saw the video by Russell Brand defending himself against these allegations. I'm going to read the Sunday Times article that circled around the internet illustrating what these 4 women are accusing him of. The Sunday Times: Russell Brand accused of rape, sexual assault, and abuse. 4 women, including one who was just 16, make allegations after an investigation by the Sunday Times, The Times, and Channel 4 Dispatches. September 16th, 2023. The comedian and actor Russell Brand has been accused of rape, sexual assaults, and emotional abuse during a 7-year period at the height of his fame. 4 women have alleged sexual assaults between 2006 and 2013, while he was a presenter for BBC Radio 2 and Channel 4, and then an actor in Hollywood films. Others have made a range of accusations about Brand's controlling, abusive, and predatory behavior. Brand denied the allegations and said his relationships have all been consensual. The findings come from a joint investigation by the Sunday Times, The Times, and Channel 4 Dispatches. One woman alleges that Brand raped her against a wall in his Los Angeles home. She was treated at a rape crisis center on the same day, according to medical records. Text messages show that in the hours after leaving his house, she told Brand that she had been scared by him and felt taken advantage of, adding, "When a girl says no, it means no." Brand replied saying he was very sorry. A second woman alleges that Brand assaulted her when he was 31 and she was 16 and still at school. She said he referred to her as the child during an emotionally abusive and controlling relationship that lasted for about 3 months, and that Brand once forced his penis down her throat, making her choke. She says she tried to push him off and says she had to punch him in the stomach to make him stop. A third woman claims he sexually assaulted her and he threatened to take legal action if she told anyone about her allegation. The fourth described being sexually assaulted by Brand and him being physically and emotionally abusive towards her. All said they felt ready to speak only after being approached by reporters. Several felt they felt compelled to do so given Brand's newfound prominence as an online wellness influencer with millions of followers on YouTube and other sites. Now, I have a question. You're telling me that all four of them never went to police? All four of them felt the need to say something after reporters found them? And now that he's a prominent YouTube wellness influencer with millions of followers, now they choose to go after him like this in a coordinated effort where now his name is trending on Twitter or X and people are talking about it. I wonder. Again, innocent until proven guilty. I'm not saying he's in. This is just me giving my assessment based on past stuff. But so far, it's sounding like it's coming out of the Me Too playbook. The Me Too playbook, and and off the heels of the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, where I believe Me Too died after that verdict. This sounds a bit sketchy. The others have accused him of physical and emotional abuse, sexual harassment, and bullying. Most of the women, who did not know each other, have chosen to remain anonymous. Over the past several years, reporters have interviewed hundreds of sources who knew or worked with Brand, ex-girlfriends and their friends and family, comedians and other celebrities, people who worked with him on radio and TV, and senior staff at the BBC, Channel 4, and other media organizations. Along with these interviews, reporters have seen private emails and text messages, submitted freedom of information requests, viewed medical and therapist notes, scrutinized Brand's books and interviews, and watched and listened to hundreds of hours of his shows on BBC, Channel 4, and YouTube to corroborate allegations. Again, I'm reading a lot about reporters doing something, but I haven't seen anything about authorities like, the police. How come the police isn't involved in this? It just seems very fishy here. Why aren't I haven't seen police at all, like mentioned in this article, like to the point where they're doing a thorough investigation. Okay, let's keep going. Brand, who is now 48, has managed to maintain his fame for the past 2 decades through reinvention. First as a stand-up comedian known for debauchery before becoming a prime-time Channel 4 TV host, BBC radio star, Hollywood actor, now most recently a wellness guru and anti-establishment influencer with millions of followers online. Now, I don't necessarily listen to Russell Brand that much. I've seen a couple of movies he's been in. For the most part, I listen to once in a while. Sometimes he's like trending on Twitter or something, and there's this interview he was doing on Bill Maher's show on HBO, where he was talking to Bill Maher and this guy who's usually seen on MSNBC or CNN, one of those. He's like a liberal, like establishment guys, and Russell Brand was calling them out. Russell Brand was he's calling the CNN or MSNBC guy out for the information that he spews on a daily basis on those networks. And basically the guy had egg in his face after Russell Brand, gave him one. And I think that might have to be something to do with it. This to me is more right now like a coordinated effort, similar to what they did with Joe Rogan when he was, going against or at least questioning at the time, just questioning getting the poke, and they all went after him because he has a large audience. And Russell Brand has a large audience, not as big as Joe Rogan's, but it's still prominent, still a large audience. And so I believe that because Russell Brand is, I think, seeing more and more of what the establishment really is. So basically, we live in an information age. okay, right now. And the media can say something. MSNBC can, put out one of their anchors. They don't really have any skill other than, lying and just doing what they're told. But they can put out one of their anchors and read from a teleprompter and tell you something. But you and I, we can just go online and do our own research and see for ourselves if it's actually true or if they're just lying to your face. And most of the time they are. Makes you wonder how long they've been lying to us, Operation Mockingbird. But I digress. Basically, I think this is kind of a coordinated effort to shut Russell Brand up, or at least shut him down or something, okay? To just dent his career, damage his career, his reputation. They tried to do that with Rogan. It didn't work. He's still popular. People still listen to him. I don't know how well it's going to work with Russell Brand. I think it just depends, one, if he's strong enough, has enough spine to fight against this. Because I think this is like the first major attack towards him in his career from news outlets across the board. So I mentioned Johnny Depp, Amber Heard because, after Johnny Depp, for the most part, won that case and it was exposed who Amber Heard really is, I think that's given people who are accused, the whole Me Too thing, a spine in terms of defending themselves instead of just bending over. And I think that Russell Brand may do that. He may stand tall and stand up for himself. He's already doing that, as you saw in that video. But time will tell. Time will tell. Throughout his career, Brand's material has acknowledged his sex addiction, and he has often publicly joked about his predatory behavior and sex life. There were rumors of more sinister behavior, said to be discussed as an open secret by senior TV and radio executives and among female comedians who warned each other of his behavior, but the women involved previously felt unable to speak out. Their stories now told publicly for the first time, shine a light on Brand's mistreatment of women behind closed doors and on the industries that enable him. Well, I mean, Hollywood is just an industry of debauchery anyway. I mean, hey, Hollywood was a joke. So there's no secret. The casting couch and all that stuff. It's no secret what's going on in Hollywood. It's still going on. Even the whole Me Too when it's at its peak. The height of Me Too, maybe 5 years ago. Even then, or maybe that's too far. Maybe 3-4 years ago. Even then, there's still things going on in Hollywood. No doubt. It's business as usual in Hollywood. Business as usual, okay? Nothing's changed. They're probably doing it right now. The same thing they were doing 5 years ago, 10 years ago, doing it right now. Maybe they're a little more discreet about it, but doing it right now. So, it's no secret about the industry. Now, in terms of Russell Brand, again, I don't know the guy's character. I just know what he puts out there on YouTube. And he is a voice of the anti-establishment because he is, seeing what's going on. I think he's still, more of the left-leaning side, but he's seeing the lies that the establishment media puts out there, and he's exposing it. And again, he has millions of followers, so he's able to influence millions of people to think differently, not just to be an NPC and say whatever the media establishment tells us to say. The Times and the Sunday Times gave Brand 8 days within which to reply to detailed allegations, including information to enable him to recall the alleged incidents. Lawyers for Brand initially said that they were not in a position to provide any response to allegations because we had posed a large litany of questions and had intentionally chosen to anonymize the names of the women. They characterized this as deliberate and part of a preconceived strategy aimed at damaging their client. They said a publication was a concerted campaign, and their client believes that there is a deeply concerning agenda to all this. namely the fact that he is an alternative media broadcaster competing with mainstream media. Pressed to provide a full response, the same lawyers did not reply. When given a further opportunity to respond, Brand broadcast a statement on his YouTube channel saying, amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. Again, he's referring to the video that was played at the top of this video. He said his relationships have always been consensual. He accused the mainstream media of a coordinated attack and said that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives. The Sunday Times asked his lawyer for the evidence referred to, but no answer was provided. Well, they don't have to. Again, this is weird. This is just, why did the women go to the Sunday Times, to the reporters first? I don't see any authorities, not even something like the authorities looking into this, the authorities question these ladies. No, I just see reporters, coordinated effort coming out with this. And they see all these media outlets going after Russell Brand. It's very weird. It's very weird. But not unique. It's not unique because we've seen this before. He sent a car to my school to take me out of lessons. As her taxi approached Russell Brand's home, Alice remembers the driver begging her not to go inside. Recognizing the destination, he had started to ask questions. Alice admitted she was 16 and still in school. He said the driver replied that his daughter was the same age and entreated Alice, "Please, I'm asking you not to go in there. You could be my little girl, and I would want someone to do this for her." He offered to take her home without charge, but Alice insisted she was fine. He had just such a sad look in his eyes, she recalled. Alice, whose name we have changed to protect her identity, now realizes that she wasn't fine. During a relationship that lasted for about 3 months when Brand was a BBC radio presenter, she says that he referred to her as the child and alleges that he became increasingly controlling and then emotionally and sexually abusive. Brand, then 30, sent a car to her secondary school to take her out of lessons and to his home, she says, and asked her to save his name in her phone as Carly to deceive her parents. Brand's management knew that he had a teenage girlfriend and advised him not to be seen with her in public, she says. Alice alleges that Brand once forced his penis down her throat, making her choke, and that after trying to push him off, he only stopped after she hit him in the stomach. She says she was visibly upset after the incident. Now I'm going to stop right there. It is a rather lengthy article. If you want to read it in its entirety, I'll leave a link down below in the description. Please take time to read it if you are interested. My final thoughts on this, again, innocent until proven guilty. To me right now, it looks like a coordinated effort to disparage someone who has a voice that reaches millions of people. And what he's saying doesn't exactly go with the narrative. And for these 4 women to go to reporters first around the same time over authorities, now I'm sure they've gone to authorities by now, but it seems like the reporters were the ones who instigated this whole thing. And a lot of people may think of this as a hit piece. And keep in mind, more hit pieces are to come for sure. So we're going to see what happens the next few days. Again, innocent until proven guilty. He may be innocent. He may be guilty. I don't know. You don't know. Only he knows, and the women who are saying these things, they know. But we shall see. We shall see. I'll leave it at that. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to get notified of future videos. And until the next one, take care.